gewesen wären oder wo.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Robert Schmid. I'm Deloitte's Chief IoT Technologist, and today we are having a special show. It's my birthday.
Robert. Hello,
Happy birthday, Robert.
Good morning with Coffee with Mr. IoT watchers. So my name is Chaz, and I actually work for Robert. And this being his 50th birthday, I think it's really important that he not be working. So I'm taking over right now. Okay? We're going to do a little Coffee with Mr. IoT. Happy birthday to Robert. And we have Mr. IoT himself, and we have people who know him from various times in his life who are right here on the show to say happy birthday to Robert. I'd like to start with Robert's mother. Eva, would you like to tell us a little bit about Robert and about why it's not so unusual that he would have become Mr. IoT?
Ich soll jetzt sagen, warum ich nicht dort hier geflogen bin?
Nein, wir wollen gerne eine Geschichte hören, warum ich technisch bin.
Warum du was bist?
Eine alte Geschichte über meine technische Seite.
Technische Seite? Mathematische Seite, aber technische Seite?
Okay, Werner, why don't you start?
Okay.
I just have a new story because you're celebrating your 50th birthday with an hangout. This is, and I'm sitting in a car and have a bad reception actually. Hello?
We can hear you.
Great.
So for anybody who doesn't know, this is my brother. He's in Vienna, and my mom is in Vienna too.
In Vienna too?
Actually, my mom is in I'm sorry, that's like outside Vienna. I'm laughing because it's funny that my mom uses that part to speak English too.
Können Sie nicht ein bisschen Deutsch reden? Wäre das möglich?
No, people don't speak German on this show. I'm sorry. It's just you, my brother, and I.
Oh.
Meral, you speak German.
Meryl speaks German. So, thank you. You're silent. So, good morning, Meryl. Meryl, you there?
Yeah.
Good. Would you be willing to tell a little Robert story here about maybe, well, let's be talking.
Sure. So Robert and I, we go back almost 5 years.
How many in a row?
Do you hear me?
Good.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, perfect. So, as I said, Robert and I, we go back like almost 25 years, where we both lived and worked in Vienna, in beautiful Vienna. And to be more specific, I got to know him really when he came to work in my department as a financial analysis manager. So as smart and hardworking he was, being his boss was one of the hardest things I had to do throughout all my career. So every day, every word or suggestion that came out of my mouth was challenged by, why do we do this? Why do we do it this way? I'm not a monkey. I don't do this. I want to automate this. This is stupid. So many times I felt like saying, you do it because I tell you to do so. I'm the boss.
Where'd that go?
Just fucking do it. Or by the time you argued with me, you would be done with it. Of course, I chose not to say any of these things, but let him do how he wanted to do things. And I tried not to micromanage him, which is, as all you know, a mission impossible. So after that, we had a pretty good working relationship, as well as a good friendship that we developed over our long chats, over our obese lunches at Nordsee, downstairs next to the company. And after like what now, almost quarter of a century, we remain good friends, although we are still in faraway places in the world. So I have to say, I want to say happy birthday to Robert, who is a great friend, whose energy, enthusiasm, adventurousness, openness, and positivity still don't fail to amaze me. So here is to you, Robert. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Mirai. My
that,
second boss at Procter & Gamble. I'll never forget. It was a good time. Thank you. And it's funny that I had to wait for 25 years to get my true feedback.
well,
you do it. Come on.
well, I have to say, Robert, working for you and working with you, I don't really think those aspects of you have changed that much. I don't think, maybe a little softer. You're a little better at refusing sort of gently, but really, you're sort of not the kind of dog that I want to leash. You're definitely gonna run down the trail the way you want to run down the trail. So, so I can see that you've got a long history of this. Yeah. Hey, Paul, I see that you're still there, although we can't see your face. I would love to hear your voice and see if you would like to tell us a little Robert story, and wish him a happy birthday.
Very good. Yeah, I apologize for the face. Again, I'm sitting in the airport and it just wouldn't work. Robert and I met in 1995, and we have one company to thank for our 20-plus year friendship and really a bunch of great times, and it's SAP. For some reason, this enterprise software company became king of the world in the 90s, and I knew a little bit about it. Robert knew a little bit more, and Deloitte decided we were experts and they were going to pay us a huge salary to teach other people the little that we knew. So that began our friendship, and our friendship had really very little to do with business. We were two guys on the project who liked doing intrepid things, and as it turned out, golf was not satisfying for us. Robert's a work in progress from that point, and actually I am too. But what makes him just the IoT god is, first of all, and the obvious one, he loves technology more than anyone I know. And he loves understanding it. He loves digging into it. And secondly, he has true disdain for bad technology and true disdain for people who don't use it correctly. Now, this was Robert in his 20s. Now it's softened a bit, and it's become kind of disappointment for bad technology and disappointment for people who don't use it properly. He'll go out of his way in his personal time to teach someone the littlest thing that he thinks is interesting, cool, and will make their life better. And it actually dovetails with his totally infectious enthusiasm for life and everything he does. Yeah, Robert convinces anyone of anything he believes, and he won't stop until he does it. And then the last thing, which has been a big disappointment in my life, is Robert just doesn't like being the center of attention. If he really did, he would be a much more successful guy.
You think Robert doesn't like being the center of attention?
No, not at all. Not at all. And let me give you a couple of stories. When we first started working, our client was HP, and this was the Apple post-Lisa era, where Robert got his hands on a Newton. He thought this was the greatest thing on earth, and he declared on our project that he was no longer using paper. He was the first person to actually use a calendar and a schedule and a to-do list online, or I guess it wasn't online, on something electronic. And for almost a month, he would come by my cube every single day, and he'd look at me and he'd see my paper and he'd shake his head and he'd show me his Newton, and then he'd just walk away, wouldn't say a word. It went on.
The Newton. I can't even believe that still. I mean, I think I still own it somewhere. It's somewhere sitting. I want it. It's really actually it's become an icon.
Yeah. Or a doorstop.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to move because my battery's dying, but I'm staying. I'm just moving to plug in.
Well, Paul, I want you to know that Robert hasn't really changed that much. I was doing my email while we were on a vacation together in Whistler, and he looks over my shoulder at the email client I'm using, tisks, and then gets me to switch email clients, and then works with me to eliminate all of the old emails I'm carrying. Because really, how can you do work that way? How can you work with that client? So really, that spirit is still very much alive with him. Okay.
We had over 1,000 unlike emails that needed to be archived. I mean,
yes,
I become the archive master. I've at least archived 30,000 emails for people over my life because of helping them. That's pretty funny.
This is good. You're an archive elf. I just want to tell anybody who's just tuning in, you're watching Coffee with Mr. IoT. This is a special Robert Schmid 50th birthday edition where we're all just wishing Robert a happy 50th birthday. And our guests span all the way from Germany to Hawaii. So we're covering a big world. Austria. Austria, well, actually,
not Vienna.
Not Vienna, but Austria. Excuse me. Sorry, thank you. I stand corrected. Actually, I sit corrected. Okay. Karen, my lovely wife, who has worked with Robert in non-business contexts, we invited to also share a little story maybe and birthday wishes. So Karen, would you like to talk?
Hi, Robert. Happy birthday. Yeah, so my earliest memory of you is of just pure boldness. Just like, I know I can do this. I'm going to take it on. I'm going to do it better. And it's true. It's not conceit. It's a vision that you have a way of bringing something new and fresh and exciting to everything you do. I think you're one of the best presenters in front of a room that I've ever seen. All of what everyone else has said about you is true when you're in front of a room. And I don't know how you feel about being the center of attention in that moment, but I know that you bring something of your passion and energy and excitement and desire to do it differently than anybody's done it before to everything that you do when you're presenting to a group of people. And the effect it has on those of us who may have been doing it longer than you is actually to uplift us, to challenge us, to look at ourselves and see, what is in us that can do it better.
Thank you. Maral, did I really uplift you when I said no to you?
I have a good one. I still remember this. When you were doing QFast, I think, or the predecessor of QFast, SAP project, we were working with this guy who was based in Brussels. He was kind of project manager, English guy, oldish. And you kept challenging everything this guy wanted to do. And then you went on writing in front of, to a group of 100 people, I think. And then he wrote back to you saying, Robert, can you plus stop saying these in front of everyone or something like that? And you wrote back to him and you said, why? Is this a communist company? I remember it. It's like, oh my God, Robert, shut up.
Well, I mean, Maral, you would have learned to type in R2 if I wouldn't have done this. There was this old thing. It was really bad. I mean, you should thank me. I was really, I'll never forget this when our boss, Maral, by the way, Mama Werner, ich habe euch auf Mute gemacht, weil der Background zu viel war. Wenn ihr reden wollt, dann könnt ihr oben auf den Knopf drücken. Noch einmal wie vorher, okay? Tut mir leid, aber es war zu laut. I had to mute my brother because he was driving and it overruled the sound.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you remember this, right? But after me writing all this and after me rebelling against the rollout of this old mainframe system, our boss, Duval, was going to fly with me to meet with the head of Europe for finance and overall, Rick Burnett, remember? And on the day before, Duval came to me and said, Robert, I can't go. You got to go on your own. I have to tell you, that was even then for me intimidating to have to go all the way by myself from Austria, the little teeny tiny country. Robert goes and meets the heads from there. So that was pretty funny. I'll never forget that.
Fortunately, you do not lack for chutzpah. So I'm chutzpah, yes. Well, some of the watchers will know what that means, and you can get it from the context. But you don't lack for chutzpah. So no question about that. So I want to say a little bit about you. So first, I think anybody watching can tell this, that you're actually an extraordinary friend, and that hasn't been mentioned, and it's worth mentioning. You are a loyal, giving, empowering friend. You know, like I feel not only do I not have to be on guard, but I feel like you are watching my back as a friend, right? You often you will jump to my defense when I've already surrendered, you know? And so it's a very empowering and loving experience to be pals with you, right? You also have, well, I am always drawn to people who have immense curiosity. And you are just curious about almost everything, certainly everything technical, certainly like the practical things in the world. How does this work? And about politics, about, who this guy got elected? And what does this mean about social issues of, why can't we just solve this social issue, right? You have this immense curiosity, and it's not the academic curiosity. I notice you don't go off and read like 3 books about something and then write a report. It's more just this rigorous mental process of trying to understand, by looking at what is and trying to understand. And it's exciting. It's exciting because it has you're like a font of new ideas. You're like, as you're trying to figure it out, you're thinking, well, we could do this better, and this could be better, and what if we did this, and why don't we do that, and why? And man, you have more ideas in a day than I have in a year. So all of that, it's pretty exciting to be around you as a pal. Right, because it's just this fire hose of ideas and intellectual stimulation and thoughts about, and all with this intense loyalty and love. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I have to say, as Mr. IoT, you have done an extraordinary job standing up in front of rooms full of business people and having them actually understand this complex interweaving of technologies that is IoT. I have watched you in front of college graduates, graduate programs, in front of design programs, in front of industry executives, in front of thousands of people at a convention. I've watched you in a lot of different places, and you have an extraordinary gift for just helping people understand what the heck it is we're all talking about and why we should be talking about it, like why this is valuable, why it's necessary. So.
I'm sorry, I just have to say, I sit here, and it just for the second time, it went boom next to me. There is, I believe it's an avocado tree right next to me. And there's the second avocado this big that just dropped down. I'm fortunately sitting underneath the roof. I'm like, holy smoke. Anyhow, I appreciate that. I have to tell you, the funnest thing was when you got me that out. What's that?
Somebody's trying to call me, and I'm muting it, but it's, or I don't know if you're hearing it, but
we're hearing
trying
it.
To make it. Okay, well, there, good. I made it go away. Uh-oh, now I made you go away.
I get a little embarrassed when you talk about me like that. It's kind of like, I don't know, I have a little, it's sweet.
Well,
and, thank you.
I don't make this stuff up. It's just how I see it. So, right. It is really how you are in the world. So, and honestly, that gift you have of just making things clearer is extraordinary. So happy birthday. I'm a little I'm a little shocked that you're only 50 years old. Hell, I have ties older than you. You know, so I feel like, oh my God, I haven't done anything in my life. Look at him, he's 50 and he's already Mr. IoT. Is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf before we start to wind this up?
No, I just want to see if my mom or my brother still want to say something. I've put them on mute, but they can unmute themselves. If they do, please come back. I have to say it's I'm touched by people showing up here. I didn't know who's going to show up. I've got some messages from people saying they couldn't get in. They got blocked because of some issues. So it was just really sweet to be here with everyone. And I can't believe, I don't know, I haven't really thought of this before. Maybe I just pushed it away, but 50 seems a big number. And I do have to say that in a way also, I just looked at photos yesterday and I saw my dad too. So, you know, I wish my dad could be on as well. He left us a little too soon for my taste. So I'd like to say I'm about halfway through.
Yep.
Although knowing you as I do, if you could be only a third through, you probably will.
Oh, this was my brother's son actually, who we just saw. That's so cute. They are actually, this is funny. So my brother is actually at Heimarkt, which is one of the places I learned to skate and play hockey. And I just picked up hockey again. So I'm, if we can, I don't know if I just put my brother back on. He's walking around at Heimarkt, which is really fun to see. Very, very old place. So Werner, can you show us Heimarkt for a second before we hang up?
Yes, we can. Here we are.
Wow. Cool.
Well, this is for
200 years old now. It's really old. They're trying to change it, actually.
And what's behind Heimarkt? Tell us what's behind it too, because that's pretty funny for people too.
What's behind Heimarkt? I don't know what you mean. Here we have the Intercontinental Hotel.
No, the other way.
The other way. Here is where Robert went to dance. It's a dancing school.
I learned to dance.
Pretty famous in Austria.
I learned how to waltz. Right, Morel?
Sorry?
Morel in Austria. Well, Chaz, close it out. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank everybody. Thank you all guests. I'm going to end with a rousing happy birthday to Robert. And then I'll do
Happy birthday, Robert.
So, but if you would like to sing, let us sing. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robert. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, guys.
Alles Gute, Robert.
Happy Groundhog Day. Bye. Bye-bye, Mama. Thank you.
Yep.
Yep.